I think, it was my first time utilizing any kind of outside service like this, in undergrad. And of course, you go through portfolio development classes and you can find blogs online, but really just having someone look comprehensively at you and having that outside perspective, and seeing like you were able to connect dots about me that I wasn't maybe able to see myself or formulate a narrative that was strong and obviously, I mean, not convincing in like crafting it in an inauthentic way. It was still very, very authentic, but it took someone on the outside to help formulate that or help me see that. So that was really helpful. And then also just the process of distilling down. I think in my particular case, I had so much difference. I had, archaeology work, I had architecture work, I had a whole art graphic design and fine arts portfolio and theater. And I feel like I had all of these pieces. And so I think the process of kind of narrowing it down to 3 or 4 projects to tell an overall story about myself and synthesizing that with my narratives and made sure my whole package was cohesive, everything from the cover letters that I wrote to the essays to how the portfolio read to like what the key points were that I needed recommenders to say and to validate or to speak to. Yeah, it was, I mean, you're branding yourself, right? It's like a whole process, and I've never done that before. And I think I know that's probably a very generic, large answer, but I think that you need that in order to apply to architecture school successfully. And I think that having that clear sense of yourself and formulating and really, really being, yeah, I guess, yeah, clear about that's really important. And I think that makes all the difference in a successful application versus one that's just mediocre. You were very process driven. It was never about the product in my portfolio. I don't know about other portfolios that you've coached or worked on, but mine was always a process. And I think I took that narrative through a lot of my subsequent portfolios and applications for fellowships, applications elsewhere. And it just sort of evolved. And it was really interesting. I've been going through this process now, applying to different awards, or being nominated for different awards and having to provide all these materials for. And looking back, I still reference that portfolio and I still kind of see how, again, that process of branding yourself and being really like kind of boil down and synthesize what you're about and what are your values. And, that was the backbone decision for why I chose my school. That was, of course, the narrative I displayed throughout the portfolio, but then that becomes still that same background. It's different work, different context, different scenarios that you're still going through in life, right? But it's still the very core things that you fall back on. So I think, those I still definitely used throughout and still do, which is great.